If we were imagining that this was the key of E, so we've got the key of E, then the chords we get are E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor, and then we get D sharp diminished. If I just look at these here, we look at the key and we're going to pull out the 3 chords that are the major chords in the key. So we take those there, E, A and B, and we're basically taking them from being major chords and we're turning them into fancy chords, jazzing them up. Now, ordinarily, if we add a 7th on this, that would actually be an E major 7, but what we're doing is we're just changing it to an E7. The same is going to happen with the A. That's going to be an A7, and then this 5 chord, which is the real 7th, that's going to be turned into that 7th as well, which explains these chord shapes here. So essentially, we have 3 chords. Those 3 chords we're going to have are the E, the A, and the B7. I'm going to explain these. I'm going to go through them as well. So I want to look at the chords first, because what you hopefully want to be able to do is be able to see where the scales sit on top of the chords as well, and then you can mix them. So really, we want to be able to understand how to get to these 7ths and things like that. So we've got the good old E major chord here, and we've got it as a 5R3. I want you to be able to see this here, because we're looking for the chord that makes this bluesy and the note that makes this bluesy, and the note that makes this bluesy happens to be the flat 7 or minor 7. If we look at this, if we imagine this is his root note here on the E string, we go up an octave, then this is the octave. If we take octopus 8, go down major 7, and then I go to an open note there, that gives me my flat 7. So to get this E major there and to add that colour of that flat 7, then all I need to do is take a finger off. How easy is that? We go from a 3-finger chord to a 2-finger chord. Take that 3rd finger off there. This isn't the only chord we can do this with, and there's 3 shapes involved in this, 3 chord shapes from the Cage system. We'll look at, got an E shape, we've got an A shape, and we've got a C shape, which is coming up as well. So here's the A chord, A up. If you're sick of pausing my YouTube lessons and scribbling down chords and diagrams, well, I've got you. PDF Club gives you a library of over 350 exclusive downloadable and printable guitar handouts and PDFs with chord charts, diagrams and worksheets all ready to rock. Just grab what you need and get back to playing. It's the perfect partner for my YouTube video lessons. Check it out now at rickysguitar.com/get PDF Club. Now back to the lesson. And this just shows you just knowing a little bit about your intervals. This is the 5th. This is the root, this is the 3rd here from that A shape there. Bless them all. Yeah. Yeah, we've got that little pattern there. If I go 5th, root, 3rd, well, that's my root. This open string here under the capo, that is the root as well. We're hearing A here. So that's an A, and that's an A. Now what I do is, because that is an octave higher, oct is 8, 1 less than 8 is 7, that's the major 7, and then if I go to an open string there, that reveals the flat 7. So essentially, when I want to play my A7, I take the A major chord that I play like this. If you play it like this, it's fine, but you're going to have to readjust, and I think it's just easy. Just cut out the middleman and just play it like this. Yeah, so I can actually just, there's a major 7. I can do some voice lead in there, which is nice. But it isn't the blues. So you can see that essentially I'm only holding down the 5th and the 3rd there of that chord, and all the other notes are coming from open strings. So 2 fingers again. So look, 2 fingers here on the E7, and then on the A7, 2 fingers. Now, how we want to switch to this is a really cool way of doing this, guys. So you can get a really quick switch, chord switch on this. If I pivot on this index finger, look at this. So I've got my E7 there. What I can do is I can pivot on that finger there until I get those 2 fingers there, and then take my 1st finger off. Yeah, and I can do it the same going back. This is that whole principle that I have about what I call scout fingers and anchor fingers. So We've got that A7 there, okay? So that's going to be my A7. But essentially, like I was saying to you, that this is a chord where we take a finger off, which is nice and easy. We like that, okay? Now, I'm just running through these 3 chords for you. We're going to play this as a B7. And it's actually kind of handy that the capo is there, because what I want to show you is if you take everything off and leave those 2 fingers on there, and I switch those fingers around there, what shape does that look like, guys? What shape does that look like? You've got to get good at recognizing the shape, knowing what a D shape looks like, knowing what a C shape and A shape, because the guitar's all about patterns and shapes. So once we know the shape, then what we can do is we can pin the intervals of the chords to it, and then we can use those then as starting points for scales. It's a C shape, so it's a tricky one, because when you see a chord, when it goes like this, and I'll show you what I mean by this, this there, and then I put this one on here. Well, the reason this works, I'm going to play it up here, it's a little bit easier. This is the C shape. Now, if I put the pinky on here, there's the C shape, and I think of that as a C7 shape because I've got the pinky on there. And what's good about this is the E string, you don't play it, and the other thin E string, you don't play it. So you can strike through and hit the 4 inside strings, the A, the D, the G, and the B strings there. So you can just play those 3 there. Now, if I take that down, look at that. I'm going to move down there. The shape is still retained. I've got a root, I've got a 3rd, and I've got my 7th in here, guys. That's the flat 7. If you imagined, there's the A shape. This is a B note. So here is a B chord. Now, if I put the A7 shape on I showed you not so long since, I could play that there as a bar chord. But what if I don't want to play it as a bar chord? I want this C shape, because this shows you really where the intersect happens, because the C shape joins into the A shape. Can you see that? Look, doesn't matter where I go on the neck. If I play this here, yeah, same note, root note, now as an A shape, C shape, A shape, C shape, A shape. And it's just 2 different ways of voicing the chord that make it a bit more interesting. We can take that shape there. Now, what I like to do is get this F sharp in here, because that is the 5th of the chord. Now, if you're clever, because you know it's the 5th, you can go root, 5th there. That's a nice little doohickey to do, but if you could do that there, look, you could do it here. I'm doing an alternating bass note there. So on this, it's going. So switching between bass, rest of the chord, bass, rest of the chord. So I'm alternating between the E and the A string there. But going back to this one here, I'm just putting the 5th over here, because it makes sense, doesn't it? Because this is an E string and this is an E string, that they would be the same note. So, and that's the way you play the B7. What we're going to do is essentially we're looking at taking fingers away. If you don't want to play the full chord and you only want to play those inside 4 strings, A, D, G, B, leave the E strings out of it, then you can have a 3-finger version there. So look, 2 fingers for this E7, 2 fingers for the A7, and then we get the B7 here like this. Now, when we go from the A7, how I showed you, if you look, if I scout with that finger there, that index finger on the 1st fret of the D string, then I can get the rest of my shape on it. And this is what I call a 2-finger group here. It just moves up a string like that. It's very easy. Yeah. It's nice if I do this as well. Going from that minor 3rd to the major 3rd there. Kind of bluesy tinge there. So, E7, A7, B7. Now, that isn't the only way that we can play this.